That was my toolkit in my garage. So let's get down to the tools you'll need in your toolkit to solve the geometry questions you'll be given. Okay, so here we go. I'll number them just as they come along. So the first one, here we go. Well, you need to know what a point is. Okay. Alright, number 2. Now we know what a point is, so you've got 2 of them. Then you can join them up with one straight line. I just say ST for straight and then line. So between 2 points there is one line, a unique line. What else do we need? Oh, okay. An angle. Okay, so here's your angle, and I'll try, there you go. Excellent. Now we've got different types of angle. So I'll carry on with angles. You've got an acute angle. Which looks like that. And I'll mark it with this arc. Then you've got an obtuse. Angle, which kind of looks like that. Then you've got a reflex angle, which looks like a bit like an acute, but it's the other bit here. That's a reflex angle. Okay, so far so good. Now, what do we measure these angles in? Because an angle is just some kind of a turn, I suppose. So, what we can agree with now, I've forgotten what number it was. I think we're on to number 3. Let me just go back and check. We've done 3, yeah, okay. So the next one will be number 4. 3 plus 1, of course, 4. Okay, number 4. So what we're going to say is, you've got a straight line, so you've got, I suppose you have 2 points, one like that, straight line, one like that. I guess I should say at this stage that that would be a line segment. So you need to know a line segment has a start and end point. Now, if you carry this line on, as you can, carry it on like that forever and ever, and like that forever and ever, then you just have the line. Okay, now, what we then say is this angle. We're going to measure in degrees, and we're going to say that's 180 degrees. Okay, now what are we going to call that? We're going to call that angles. So there's our abbreviation for angles on ST for straight line. Okay. So this angles on a straight line is the name of tool number 4, if you like. Okay, let's see, number 5, I want to talk about parallel lines. So let's talk about parallel lines. I always got confused trying to spell it until I realized that the 2L in the middle are like parallel lines, so that's how I remember it, parallel. Okay, anyway. So parallel lines are lines that never meet, always the same distance apart. And we denote parallel lines by an arrow on each one. Or it could be 2 arrows if we've got more than 2 parallel lines, if you see what I mean. Now, let's get another colour because I want to now put another line in here. Okay, let's go for that colour. Fine. Now, say I put a line across these parallel lines like that. Now this has got a fancy name, transversal. Transversal. Okay, fine. Now, let's get another colour. Okay. If you've got parallel lines, I don't know if this will make sense, hope so, no, I don't want that, thank you. That angle there is going to be the same as that one. Hope you can see they're the same. And these angles are called corresponding because they're in the same position. So, corresponding, okay, corresponding angles, oops, parallel lines, okay, and the lines must be parallel for the corresponding angles to be equal. I mean, say you had a line like that and a line like that, and then this transversal coming across. Okay, there it is. And there's no way that this angle, for example, is the same as that one. I mean, you can see. So only if the lines are parallel are the corresponding angles equal. Right, let's continue with number 5 and these parallel lines. So I want another diagram now. Need to turn over. Very good. Let me draw my parallel lines. And I'll need another set in a minute, so let me do them both now. Okay, so that's parallel to that. Now I'll put 2 arrows on these to show it's these that are parallel. Nothing to do with the others. Okay, now I want my transversal coming across. There it goes. And I'll put this one a different way, like that. Now, let's talk about, let's say, this angle here. Let me try and shade it in here. This angle between that parallel line and the transversal is the same as this angle here. It's the same as this angle. And they are called alternate. Alternate angles, we can see are equal as long as the lines are parallel. Okay, fine. And the last one I want to talk about here are angles like this one and then this one. The ones that are inside the parallel lines. So we'll call these co because there's 2 of them, interior. There's supposed to be an N there. Oops. Don't like that very much, so let's just try and erase that N. Okay, I'll go back to my pen. Let's try and do it a bit better. That's better. Interior angles. Co-interior angles are parallel lines. Now they're not equal. These co-interior angles are not equal because you can see this one with an X is acute and this one is obtuse with the dot. They're not equal, but they add up to 180. And the fancy name for that is supplementary. So there's another tool we need to put in there, supplementary. Supplementary, which means adds up to 180 degrees. Okay, so those are the first few tools in your toolbox. So now what I'm going to do is just make up some questions for you to answer using the tools we've just put into the box. So I'll just write them on a piece of paper, I guess, and then we can see what the story is. Okay, let me just see how this is going to work. Oh yeah, that's going to be fine. Right. Okay. So, just pause the tape. Not yet, till I finish talking, but I want you to draw the diagram and then shade in or somehow or sort of show all the angles which are, let's say, corresponding. Let me just write that. Corresponding. And I'll do another picture with a line that goes another way. Okay. So let's see what these look like. So there's the first diagram. Right? We're looking at corresponding angles. And there's the second diagram. So let's start with the first diagram. There it is. So pause the tape now and then somehow show all the angles which are corresponding. Okay, right, welcome back. Now let's see if I can do it at the same time. Now we're talking about corresponding, which is in the same position. So take A here. A and F are corresponding because they are in the same position. B and H are corresponding because they are in the same position. D and E are corresponding angles. Whoops. Are corresponding angles, D and E, because they are in the same position between parallel lines. And finally, C and G are corresponding angles. Okay, hope you got those. Right, here's the next diagram then. There we go. So here's a new diagram. I want you to either write down the letters or somehow show which angles are corresponding. Okay, welcome back. Right, here we go. Fine, let me just get organized. Here we go then. Okay, let's say take A. Which angle corresponds to A? It must be H. So A and H corresponding. Likewise D and G corresponding. B and E corresponding. And finally C and F corresponding. So let's, well, I hope you've got a good idea of corresponding angles now between parallel lines. Cool? So now, let's see, we've done corresponding, so let's do alternate. Okay, so just to remind you, here is the alternate picture. Alright. This is the one we're looking at now, this picture here. So same idea, I'm going to draw two sets of parallel lines. I'm actually drawing them now as I talk. A transversal going across, and then I'll label each angle. And now we're talking about alternate angles. So here we go. Right. There you go. There's your first picture. I want you to stop the tape and then write down which angles are alternate. Fine, so let's do it then. So, alternate angles. C is alternate to F. And D is alternate to E. Notice that the alternate angles are kind of inside the parallel lines, whereas when we had corresponding angles, they don't have to be inside the parallel lines at all. Some are, some aren't. Okay, let's recap. Alternate angles, C, F, and D, E. Now I've got another diagram here. There you go. So now, I'll try and get the alternate angles here. So let's see, let's just hold it a minute. Right, alternate angles, B, H, and C, E. I'm sure you got that right. Okay, well done. Last one then, we need to look at co-interior. So same idea. Just drawing my parallel lines. Nearly finished. And now we're looking for co-interior. So there we go. Co-interior. Remember, co-interior, interior, inside, and they're not equal this time. They add up to 180. So stop the tape and write down which are the co-interior, which are the pair of co-interior angles. Okay, let's check then. So you can see D and G, no, D and I, that is, I think, these two, D and I are co-interior, so these will add up to 180. So if D was, say, what's it look like? 140, let's write that on. If D was, say, 140, then I would have to be 40 to add up to 180. So you'd have this picture. I'll just scoop it down there. So D is 140 and the other angle is 40. Now the other co-interior angles here, C and F. C and F will add up to 180. Where's my other diagram? Here it is. So co-interior angles, let's see, yes, here we go. I'm down here. Okay, co-interior angles D and H. Okay. So maybe the other letter was H. Anyway, that plus that is 180 co-interior, and C and E also add up to 180 co-interior. Okay, great. So, I suggest you stop the tape now and look back on what we've done. Just check you understand all the tools, and then the next video will be a video of questions using the tools that we've just put in the toolkit.